The PL Show is brought to you by Roma Insecticide Spray and Mosquito Coil.
So it's the PL Show, proudly sponsored by Roma Insecticide Spray and Mosquito Coil. Roma and Tonton Master and Feco Spray Starch. Look sharp. We will take a breather here. When we come back, we will dive straight into our conversation with our wonderful guest for today.
Should you Roma to me?
And Tonton Master, a baby, you want to kiss Madahati. Roma Insecticide Spray ada Roma. Entafre, entatia, mekecheha. No way. Shemikuno. Entonton bako crown fanimo. Eno so a empusi. Roma Insecticide Spray and Mosquito Coil. Emma wo dem we sham. Roma, Ekua.
Roma and Tonton Master.
Wow! My uniform looks different.
Feco Spray Starch, Majimo Point. Ratchet, pause. When you want to remember Namunto the Moon, I feel you spray starch, Papa. On particles be our water, no wrinkles, smooth iron.
Yes, Papa. Feco Spray Starch. Me here perfume.
Also, yes, guy. Feco Spray Starch.
Look sharp.
Look sharp. Look sharp.
Believing that children are the next generation future leaders, she has made it her core aim to educate them in this fast-growing cyber world. Awo Aidam Amenyah is the Executive Director of Child Online Africa. She has pushed for government and other stakeholders to put in place measures to protect children in the cyberspace. She is the Big Girl brand ambassador since 2018. She has found herself in various platforms like the Internet Governance Forums, Cybersecurity Week, and many others, all in the advocacy of child online protection. She is a member of the Child Online Protection Steering Committee and has produced a policy brief on child online protection in Ghana for the MFWA. Awo seeks to provide the basic necessities for children, especially the girl child in Ghana and beyond.
Well, you're welcome back. You're still watching the PL Show, and I have with me here today a woman who is dominating the industry that many will think that men would have taken over. Awo Aidam Amenyah, you're welcome. Who do you look up to?
Quite a number of people.
I'm interested.
I think the first on the list will be Anne Rachel, engineer Peter Ulanga, CK Bruce. That's professionally. Socially, Mrs. Nana Masawa Opoku-Edusei. She's the wife of the former Army commander. The current Chief of Defense Staff's wife, who is Mrs. Dorothy Ekua. Mrs. Annabelle Wuni, the recent defense attaché for China, Mrs. Margaret Ayamdo, who is also the current Chief of Army Staff's wife. Yes.
How do all these people inspire you?
My goal kind of ties in with all that those people do in one way or the other.
You are in the digital space and you recently launched the Child Online Africa.
Yes.
You started from J Initiative?
That's right.
How did it metamorphose to there?
All right, so J Initiative came up when I happened to come across a situation in one of the schools. A 10-year-old boy went to a cafe, downloaded pornographic content, grouped them into folders and stuff like that. And he was brought to of course, the cane was there to talk to him. And I thought that, no, it wasn't a caning situation.
Yes.
The boy has the skills. What can we do in order for him to put the skills into good use? So I had a chat with him. And when I left him that day, it got me thinking, and what can I do as a person, as a mother, to help the situation?
Yeah.
So that gave birth to the project we started as an anti-pornography campaign, which was for J Initiative. And so with the support of Mrs. Okuku-Edusei, we launched that successfully. Okay. After a year of anti-pornography campaign, we kind of researched into what to do. So that brought us to a concept from ITU, which is called the Child Protection Initiative. And we saw that that thing had been in existence since 2018, and it was requiring of countries to do their country level policing mechanisms for children to be protected online. So we started a campaign calling on governments. I recall one of the meetings, the minister got onto the podium to give the keynote remarks, and I pressed the buzzer. Then the minister said, "What's your problem?" And I said, "I had a question. What are you people doing to protect children and young people who are using the internet?" Because I reviewed the policies that we have, ICT for Accelerated Development Policy, there was nothing on safety in it. And the minister said, "Oh, okay, we'll have that discussion after."
Eventually you were listened to.
We were listened to, but it didn't come on a silver platter. After that meeting, we had to petition Select Committee of Parliament, of Communication in Parliament, National Media Commission, National Communications Authority, and the Ministry of Communications. Because we petitioned the ministry, but then copied all those people because those are the people that form the decision-making body. So, by the grace of God, the Ministry of Communications wrote to us and requested of us to develop the pillar for the child online protection. So that was done, and a steering committee was put in place to develop a framework for child online protection for the country. So that was how Ghana started, and we were excited about that. So we started reviewing the African protocols. We came across the African Charter on the Rights of the Child. We came across Agenda 2040, which is the AU's new framework to protect children. We reviewed them and we didn't see online safety in it. So we started a hashtag campaign, Online Safety for Agenda 2040.
African problem.
Yes. Online Safety for Agenda 2040. So we directed the hashtag at them. By the grace of God, an executive decision was passed by the AU for the expert committee on the rights and welfare of the child to incorporate privacy, data protection, and digital literacy.
From what you're telling me, there seemed to be a general hesitation amongst the African community. What do you think our leaders, policymakers, hesitant in drawing this charter or in advancing this charter?
The hesitation, I think, stems from our own attitude towards things, where we don't consider children as people who ought to be heard.
So it's cultural.
Yes. I was part of the government's delegation to ITU Plenipotentiary Conference in Dubai. So we engaged, and I was asking them, what are you doing in terms of online safety? What are you doing in terms of children and all of that? It seems like they were all doing the higher up things and everything, but children were not factored in. And I said, children are the low-hanging fruit. So if we are not building them, what do we do? If we are to have any concrete results from our efforts, it's important we coordinate at the continental level, so then an action is taken at our level.
In any case, can you talk about cybersecurity without including children?
It's not supposed to be, but it will interest you to know that the policy in Ghana, the one that was started, was without the children.
Wow.
So it was cybersecurity that had 8 pillars. So it was our advocacy which brought the 9th pillar.
That included children.
Yeah, which is a child online protection pillar. Quickly we put together a call for Safer Internet Day Africa. Safer Internet Day is a day celebrated globally, an initiative of the EU Commission. But then we thought we could leverage on that. Other countries are doing it. So we said,
then have our own.
Exactly. So what we did was to contextualize the content to suit our needs.
Yeah.
So we have Safer Internet Day
Africa.
Then that gave birth to Hike for the Child Online, Kilimanjaro for the African Child.
Okay, tell me about that.
I wanted to do something to bring visibility. So I mentioned it to one of my mentors and he was like, why don't you do Kilimanjaro? Because it's an African child, it's not a Ghana child. Kilimanjaro is difficult. In April, I had to start preparing myself. I spoke with a couple of friends with a view that they might want to join. And all. Charlie, we put out the request and the response was poor. One of my friends called me and said, so you want me to give you money for you to go and kill yourself?
Wow.
And then I started reading about Kilimanjaro. Charlie, the things I was reading about the place, the number of people who died.
Oh no, that's scary.
So why? I wouldn't call myself an athletic person. I don't do gym. No.
Not even minor exercises, nothing.
I skip for 5 to 10 minutes every day.
That's good enough.
That's all I do. So now with this Kilimanjaro,
you need to get yourself fit.
In fact, the mockery alone was enough to kill my spirit. But again, I always say that I had 20% support. So the 20% support got me going. So I became a climber and submitted myself to the mountain. And so submitted on the 4th of August.
Wow.
And that has been achieved.
Wow. You did that in how many days? 6
days.
Again? Oh, you mean 1, 2, 3, 4, 6 days to climb, and then how many days down?
1.5 days to come down. I thought I was going to create awareness for online safety, but I think I got more than that. My whole personality has been some way, somehow transformed. I don't look at things the way I used to. Even if it's about criticism, if someone criticizes, I listen to the criticism. I sit down, look into what the person has said. Most often than not, I realize it's not true. It's out of jealousy or something. But those that I can take, I just take them and I move on with life.
In your write-ups, you talk about good digital citizenship. What does it mean?
It's a free space. You have your rights to post whatever you want to post. But the fact remains that, are you mindful of what you are posting to be the truth? Are you also sure that what you are putting out there will not haunt you in future? And we live in a space where, or in a context where, we would say the internet does not forget.
Definitely it doesn't.
In Europe, they have laws that can help you remove things when you want to. Here it's possible with some of the service providers, but it's not across board. So when you put it out there, you don't know even where to apply to for it to be taken down.
Why is it that up until now, we still don't have policies that are guiding some of these things? Yes,
the reality is that we could even have the policies, we could have them in the papers, but then how
implementation.
Exactly. Young people ought to be empowered. As they're growing, you don't learn partially about some of the things, but it ought to be holistic enough for you to know that, okay, it's about attitude, it's about skills, it's about creativity.
I'm interested, under the NICE project, you actually categorize the child into 3 different areas, and I'm interested in one of it, but let's hold it here. We're going for a short break. When we return, we'll continue. It's still the PL show, which is proudly sponsored by Roma Insecticide Spray and Mosquito Coil, Roma and Tonto Master, and Feco Spray Starch. Look sharp.
Should you rumor to me?
And Tonto Master, a baby, you Hwese o madahati. Roma insecticide spray ada Roma. Entafre, entatia, mekeche ha. No way. Hwemikunu. Entonton ba ko kra amfa ne ho. Eno so a empuusie. Roma insecticide spray and mosquito coil. Emma wo dem ye sham. Roma, Ekua.
Roma and Tonton Master.
Wow! My uniform looks different.
Feco spray starch. Majimo point. Rachi. Pause. When you want to run amunto the moon. Afini spray starch, papa. Onja particles be water. No wrinkles. Smooth ironing.
Yeshon papa. Feco spray starch. Me here perfume.
Also, yes, guy.
Feckle spray starch.
Look sharp.
Look sharp, look sharp.
Yena. Makechiano, why are you?
Oh!
Tum preku.
Sasso.
Mwa.
Sasso.
Papa no, oh you sasso. You na you sasso.
Yes. Any sasso. Madam, any sasso. What?
Sasso.
And more beyond that down. Sasso. A kum tuntum. Ni mwa sasso. Kum tuntum preku.
Under the Child Online program, you have categorized the school digital program into 3 categories. The third part is what I'm interested in. You said the child, oftentimes you have seen the child as a victim, the child as the one who is in danger. But now you bring a third aspect that we oftentimes overlook, the child being the danger. How is that?
Children perpetuate danger to one another in the space. So if a child goes online, lures another friend to video cam himself or herself and share that online, that means the child is a danger. So that conduct needed to be checked in the child. So that is why we focus on what we call, like, it's part of the digital citizenship training. So as much as possible, we don't look at just the skills that the child acquires. We look at the behavioral pattern of the child, how you conduct yourself within the digital space. So the ethics apply. And most of us adults don't have that. So sometimes the kind of things people share online, you ask yourself, have they thought through it? And as under that same thing, we consider what we call the critical thinking skills. So critical thinking goes like, in simple terms, you think before you post. You think before you share, you think before you click or like.
Right.
So someone tags you in something which is inappropriate, and tag yourself and go. And it's important you even activate your settings in such a way that people don't tag you in things and it appears on your page immediately. You need to review it and be sure that this is content I want to be associated with.
This is a very good education. I think we should be more loud on it and then put it out there. Right. You also have the Happy Schoolgirl Initiative. As
part of our work, we empower women, young girls for that matter. One emerging thing that I saw that is not being taken care of for girls is menstrual hygiene management. The talk about menstruation has become more like a taboo talk, as what the Happy Schoolgirl project sought to achieve. So we kind of do the rallying call around menstruation. I remember the first time in 2015 when we started the project, we went to Osu Presec, and I held up the sanitary pad, and they were all shouting, taboo, taboo, taboo. And I was like, no, it's not a taboo. Menstruation is part of life, and it only promotes womanhood. That is why we have always been putting pressure on the people that matter, the Minister for Finance, the Minister for Education, the Minister, the presidency on Twitter to remove the tax, and the hashtag is Why Tax Womanhood.
Why tax womanhood?
Exactly.
I think every woman out there should actually hashtag it.
As part of the options that we want to provide for girls, we have what we call the Afro pad, which is a locally made sanitary pad that we sew ourselves, and we teach young girls how to sew that.
Them.
Of course, if you cannot afford it, you can get the
so you don't have any excuse.
Exactly, available materials within your space to make something for yourself and be sure that you are observing the hygienic practices.
This is beautiful.
Pad. So this is the pad that we also recommend for most girls. It's a reusable pad.
Right.
We call it the panty pad. It can be used for 4 years.
Wow.
All we need is 2 pairs. We'll take a girl through school for 4 years.
Wow.
It's just wash. It dries in 1 hour.
And it's very cost effective. How much is this going for?
This is 55 cedis. So having this, no chemicals to interact with your body in order to say that it's not adjusting well and all of that. You have the flexibility if you cannot wash the blood. You wash, you use the pouch for either toilet tissue or cotton. And the toilet tissue going into the pouch makes it safe for me because sometimes the tissue can peel into your vagina. So with this, it cannot peel. Even if it peels, it doesn't get into your vagina.
It gets trapped in the net right
so
here.
You just remove it. I always encourage members of parliament to get it for their constituency girls. So last year, as part of the Menstrual Hygiene Day campaign, the Minister for Education bought 1,000 pieces for girls in his constituency, that's Mensha, Honorable Matthew Puku Prempe. And we hope to have a lot more ministers or members of parliament take advantage of the opportunity and get these for girls. This has been tried and tested.
So very safe. So I'm sure in all of this, you have actually experienced some challenges. How have you overcome them?
Challenges have always been part of the growth process for us. God makes a way for us to get over it. For instance, in organizing the programs we do, funding has been a challenge. So sometimes you pre-finance with your own money. Sometimes you get paid by the collaborators or sponsors at the end of the day. Other times you don't get paid at all, so your money goes. But then in all, you give thanks to God that you have affected lives out there. And for me, that is the motivation. So I do other things and then sink the money into what we do. What I'm wearing is one of the things I do. So then
hopefully I'll come to you to costume me.
From this one goes into Child Online Africa's work.
You're still watching the PL show. This is the chillaxing segment, which is proudly sponsored by Feco Spray Starch. Look sharp. Let me take you back quickly. When you were mentioning the people that you look up to, you mentioned a particular name that took me by interest, Mrs. Winnie.
Yes.
How exactly does she affect your life, or how exactly does she inspire you?
Interesting. Mrs. Winnie practically walked me through what life is like, being a military wife, coupled with the fact that we belong to the same faith. Mind you, being a military wife or an army wife, there are benchmarks. So she kind of coached me in all of that.
A little more interested in the love life.
Which of the love lives?
Oh, you mentioned proposal.
The gentleman that won my heart, so to speak, correct?
Yes, correct.
Is now Lieutenant Colonel James Kofi Amenyah. I think that's all there is to it. We've been in it. We've been on this journey for quite some time, over 14 years. It's not been an easy one, Charlie.
Right.
No.
Marriage. We are coming.
It's a world on its own, right?
I know.
I don't like surprises.
Mrs. Winnie.
Seriously.
The Mrs. Wuni, thanks so much for coming on the PL show. You have played a very pivotal role in the life of Awo, and she talks about you affectionately. And I would love that you say some very inspiring words to her.
Great. I also admire her so much because she's a hard-working lady. And myself, I don't admire lazy people because if you are lazy, you can't get what you want. And she prays, and I like, those who are prayerful, especially if you're a woman and you are prayerful, you go far. She's a go-getter, and she doesn't take no for an answer. I just admire her for that. I will encourage her that she should be a pathfinder. If you don't know where you are going, that's where you follow other people. But if you know where you are going, you pave your own way. And so she's up to that. I always encourage her to do that.
Thank you so much. I mean, you've put it together very nicely. Miss Roma insecticide spray and fecal spray starch, and they are very, very, very happy, and they're supporting women who are actually empowering the youth. Thank you so much, Awo. Thank you so much for coming. You have been watching the Phenomenal Lady Show, and we've had a very phenomenal, fantastic lady in the person of Awo Aidam Amenyah. It's the PL Show, proudly sponsored by Feco Spray, Starch, Look Sharp, and Roma Insecticide Spray and Mosquito Coil, and Tontom Master. Have a very good day.